Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Paulo and today we're going to be talking about professional transformation. Okay, so this is the fourth episode of this series, okay? And specifically we're going to be talking about our move to the UK. If you like this kind of videos, please give it a thumbs up, okay? Help us share the word, spread the word, because we are doing this to inspire people, to make them aware that it's possible actually to transform yourself and take advantage of this crisis and become even stronger at the end, okay? So do subscribe and join us on this journey, okay?
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Dora, Paulo's partner. You probably already know me from other videos, and we are here in our hometown at the moment
Yeah, with
with Sagrada Familia, so that you can take advantage of the video to look at it. It's an
yeah,
amazing building.
exactly, definitely so. So, I'm sorry for the shades, but yeah, this is Barcelona, so sun is always very powerful.
If you have the sun, we cannot open our eyes basically.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking then about four main points. Okay, so one is the professional transformation in itself. What did it mean to Dora? What did it mean to us and to me? We're going to be talking about the move and the settling down in the UK. We're going to be talking about the living part and the working part. Okay,
Exactly.
you want to
So
kick?
I will start with the professional transformation, which from Belgium to England was where it had really a big impact on me. Why? Because in Belgium it was clear that I had some challenges, as were the language, as were the law in architecture, of course. So I decided to look for something that was a bit more international. And I already had a big interest in the certification for sustainability in buildings. So I decided to give the step and take that training. I did a BRIAM international training, which would allow me to work basically anywhere in the world.
And not be dependent of the law of a specific
Exactly.
country to practice architecture.
Exactly, because
Okay.
then you are applying the norms of this certification
Yeah.
and working in English because it's a UK-based certification.
Yeah, and it's a different ball game when you can work on a language that you fully or more or less you have
Exactly.
control of, and different of working in Dutch. No, that is a bit more challenging.
Exactly, and also it gives me the freedom to choose where I want to live, where I want to work. So I gave the step, and everything changed from then on. So I had my CV online, and I started to have offers,
Loads
of
of
offers,
offers.
but basically or mainly for the UK, which was exactly what made us, after all, change to the UK.
Yeah.
So I will leave Paulo to tell his part now.
Yeah, so for me, the professional transformation was essentially done when we were in Belgium, in the sense that I moved from general marketing, okay, and I started to focus much more on CRM, specifically Salesforce, digital transformation, and analytics, okay. Leveraging my post-graduation on marketing research and analytics. If you heard me on some of the previous videos, my personal takeaway of all of this, my best practice is always leverage your past experience and your knowledge or education, okay, so that it's easier for you to actually do the transformation in itself, for you to transform into something slightly different but with much more demand on the market, okay. So going a bit more into detail, the fact that I invested so much on Salesforce allowed me to open a lot of doors, okay? And I invested a lot also on analytics, as I said, and that opened a lot of doors and digital transformation. At the end, and to give you a concrete example of what is it that I'm saying, is when we took the decision to move to the UK, okay, I had four proposals, okay? But by four proposals, I don't mean four proposals. Someone called me, I mean four contracts to sign, okay? And we could choose to go to Spain, where we actually are living in now, okay? Going to the Nordics, Luxembourg, or on this case specifically, the UK. and the decision was to go to the UK, mostly because of the high demand that Dora had.
Because we knew that going to the UK meant that I could just start to work
Whenever you wanted.
I wanted, when
Yeah.
a proposal would make his way, and that's it. So that was the main reason. Then, of course, we were also pulled by the proposal Paulo had,
Yeah.
which was a company that was a startup. It was
Yeah,
dynamic.
tech company, very
Exactly.
dynamic. Yeah.
Exactly. So another point for me also is that in Belgium I already had the opportunity to use my certification. So I more or less after 2 years I changed the company, and I started to do architecture and BREEAM certification in the same office. Which after a while I said I had to focus in just one, and I decided to go just for the certification because it was impossible to do both at the same time. So from then on, I started to be a consultant. So
Yeah, that was your shift
exactly.
from architect to
Exactly.
consultant.
So when I went to the UK, it was for the role of sustainability consultant.
Yeah. Also to add to that, so on my case specifically, I moved from Belgium as a global CRM specialist, and I moved to become head of marketing operations at Revo. Okay. Hi to everyone from Revo, guys. Love you. Okay. Cheers.
So the moving to the UK, it was, I think, the easiest because the bureaucracy in the UK is much less,
The
much
Sagrada
lighter.
Familia bell.
Exactly, much lighter than other countries. Although they have also the same rule of the 4 months, where you need to have a job in max that time. But you basically needed to take care of your social security, and that was it.
Yeah.
Of course, we needed to have a house and a school for the kids, but let's say in terms of paperwork, that didn't have a weight.
Yeah, so the paperwork, yeah, and the move in itself. So it's, as Dora said, it's much easier. Like for instance, I remember that essentially we just needed to take care of social security, and apart from that, not a lot more. Okay, in Belgium, in the Netherlands, in Portugal, on the rest of the European countries, let's put it like that, things are a bit more strict. Okay, and I think that was also one of the reasons for the Brexit at the end. That is a bit like one of my conclusions of going through the Brexit while we were in the UK. Okay, so talking about that, I would say that although it was much easier then, I would say that it will become much more complex after the Brexit is done and the agreement with Europe is signed or not signed, I don't know. So let's hope that things will sort out at the end, okay? So shall we go to the next topic?
Yeah, so settling still,
Yeah.
we needed a house. The housing market is, of course, comparing to Belgium, is much more difficult to find a nice house. Houses are older. They
More
are
expensive?
More expensive. They are smaller.
Yeah.
So it was a downgrade in that sense, and it was difficult for us to choose because we were not happy with anything. And after all, we decided to be out of
London.
Great London.
Yeah.
Because the prices in Great London, even in the outskirts, they are quite high.
Expensive.
So it is, if you want like a 2-bedroom, you will pay like between 1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah, we went to see a place. I remember that we went to see a place, a 2-bedroom house that was roughly almost 2,500. Okay, this in London.
And it's not a great house.
And it was not a great house.
Small apartment.
Okay, and then we went to see others of 1,700, 1,900. So things really expensive. Okay, then what you need to take into consideration, of course, and this bridging to the living part, is that of course you need to take care of your kids. No, we were already in the UK with 2 children. Okay. So you need to take care of them. So you need to expect that you're going to be paying heavily also on kindergarten. Okay, So,
Exactly.
with all of that in mind, so we took the decision to move away from Greater London, as Dora was saying. So we moved south to Kent, to a very beautiful city,
Yeah,
town.
it's Tunbridge Wells or Royal Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah, you have to say Royal Tunbridge Wells. There
Exactly.
are four
It's a
in the
kind of
UK.
a Sintra in Portugal. So
Yeah,
it's a mounty green place, very humid, but well, humid is the whole UK. But it's beautiful and a
that
town
represents
that had
greenery.
some
Yeah,
services. So it was a good place to live. 80 kilometers from the center, but the connections were quite good if comparing to other places, some
yeah.
of them nearer. So there we could manage to live and work. So I was working
Close by.
in
Yeah.
there, and Paulo was in London.
Yeah, commuting to London, going into that, and yeah, it's like it's very expensive. Okay, guys. So how expensive it is. So I was paying for roughly 45 minutes train. Okay, I was paying for 430, 440 pounds, something around those lines, for a month. Okay, so you have to expect always to pay roughly around more than £5,000 a year to get yourself to London. Why is this important and relevant? You need to take into consideration that we're coming from Belgium and then from the Netherlands, where the company pays that for you. Okay, so you don't need to pay. So that is another one that really is a
Heavyweight on your
heavyweight
budget.
in your budget.
Exactly.
Then you have the kindergarten, as mentioned. So we were paying £1,300,
For
and
Gustavo's
yeah,
kindergarten, and
for
we
our
still
small
paid
one,
400 more for the childminder.
for the
Uh,
the oldest one.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So the childminder is someone where you leave your child in the morning and you pick up your child in the end of the day, because the school scheduling is from 9 to 3:30 more or less, which is not compatible with a
If you
working
work.
schedule.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
So that was the services, and we did had a very amazing childminder.
Hi, Lorna.
Exactly.
Uh,
But still, it was heavy weight in our budget.
exactly, very very heavy, and also what at the end is important to say as an advice: get yourself to granny. Okay, convince your granny to go with you. Get yourself an au pair. Get yourself a nanny, someone that can be there and support you, because the kindergarten in itself it's very very expensive. So you need to take into consideration to that. Plus, picking your daughter from school or your child from school, it's also quite expensive. Okay, so with all of that in mind, I would say definitely go for a granny or an au pair.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's go on. I will talk a little bit about the NHS, so the health system, which many people talk about it as one of the best in Europe. We find it very similar to Spanish or the Portuguese one, where you mainly don't pay anything for it, or if you pay, it's really a small amount. And you have to wait to have an appointment. If it's a general one, it's easy. If it's a specialized one, it's not so easy. So we find that it's quite similar to other European countries if you compare to Portugal or Spain. The Belgian one was better. I will not compare it with the Dutch one because that one is private.
Yeah, and
So
you need
you
always
need
to
to pay for it.
pay for it. Yeah, so you have to pay €100
A month
a
per
month.
adult, so
Yeah, yeah.
children are included.
So it can, on our case, was like 300 or something like
Exactly.
that a month.
Exactly.
So going then
The working.
on the working part. Okay, so on my end, working was really great. Okay, I highly recommend going to the UK to work, and I highly recommend to go to London. Okay, why? Because it's a very open-minded. It's full of people from all over the place, different perspectives, and you can learn a lot. Okay, there is a lot of tech companies, there are a lot of startups, there are a lot of companies from everywhere that do all over.
So you have a market that really gives you a lot of opportunities. They are quite positive in their approach.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like you needed to have attention to the client, so the client is king,
Yeah.
and they have a selling mentality.
Yeah, you need to know how to sell. Yeah,
Exactly.
how to pitch and
So
sell.
it's not that the quality of the work is not important. Of course it is, but for them is the ratio of gaining the client versus the quality of the work.
Yeah.
If you take too much time to do a brilliant work, it's not good,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
the client will have to wait, because you cannot have as many clients. So that's their mentality. They give you a lot of opportunities to grow. So if you want to move inside the company, it's quite easy.
Yeah.
They are not as stuck to their skills. So imagine I'm an architect, but I want to be on the selling part of the company instead of being on the drawing part. They will give you that chance, as long as you prove that
You
you
are
can
capable. Yeah.
stay there, of course.
Yeah, it's easy for you to transform yourself in the UK as well. That is actually one of the things that I was thinking on making mention of that. It's like in Belgium, also just to take that note, is also interesting. Why? Because the government even pays you for you to transform yourself, so you can actually take another course. Like for instance, we had friends that were taking nurseries to become nurse because it
There
was in a high
yeah,
demand. Okay.
there was a lack of nurses,
Yeah.
and in that sense, the government would help you, like with the kindergarten, and even with pay, a monthly pay, so that you could study.
Yeah, exactly, and transform yourself. And why is it easy also in the UK? Because you can actually come from whatever area. I had people from maths that were doing marketing. I had people from I don't know, computer science that were doing marketing. I had people from languages that were actually doing computer science. So you can almost like transform yourself to almost whatever you want,
Exactly.
which is amazing, and it's brilliant because of course you are much more than your area, okay, of your area of study. So you can transform yourself.
And
So it's
there is
important.
so the marketing in the Netherlands was also had people from
Yeah, that is true.
other areas, and this there is a reason for this. So the fact that the studies there are highly paid. So if you go to the university in England, it's expensive.
It's extremely expensive. Yeah.
So not everybody can study, and in that sense, they lack people with skills.
Yeah, exactly. So because it's like, just to give you guys a sense of the cost, no? Because Dora already talked about some of the costs. So like studying is also very expensive. Okay, so you're gonna be paying like 10,000 a year to study, to go to university. So it's highly likely that you're going to close your university studies with a 30,000, 50,000 debt. Okay, so it's heavy. And I think, yeah, but overall, I think going just to close on the working part, I think it's really an amazing place to be. And I would highly advise, if you don't have children, to go, because you're going to learn a lot, you're going to grow a lot, and people are very positive and very optimistic. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think that is
Yeah.
chapeau to the English with regards to that.
Overall, the ratio between what you earn and what you expend, it's
It's a bit tricky.
it's not as good. But of course, we're talking about from the point of view of a family. And let's say children have it's a heavy weight on the budget side in the UK. But if you are alone, of course, you only have to count on transports and housing, and in that sense, it should be better. And
so it's easier. It's easier for those that do not have children at the end. No, those that have, bring the granny with you guys. That's it. Okay. So moving forward towards one last topic. Let's put it like that. That is around some differences in terms of cultures, or some things that you need to take into consideration. Is as Doris said, the cost of living and what you get, it's not as good as, for instance, in Belgium or in the Netherlands. Okay, so it's really costly to live there, and the amount that you earn is not as good. So for instance, in comparison to Belgium, we are more or less earning the same, but we are spending much more in in
So,
the UK. No?
So if we compare the countries where we lived in, Belgium was the place where we saved the most. UK was the place where we saved the less.
Yes.
I think it was more or less the same as in Portugal in terms of savings.
Yes, exactly. So the other thing that I would say is a kind of to summarize, it's like the English or the UK society, let's put it like that. It's very open-minded, okay, in terms of work. It's really easy to work. It's really easy to propose, to grow, which is, I think, amazing. No?
Exactly.
And I would say that they are very optimistic. Like society is very flat, and I think that they are, although they don't think themselves as optimistic. Just take a look at the Brexit. No, it's like I don't think that they actually have it very sorted.
They always think everything will be all right.
Yeah, exactly. And if you'd be a Portuguese, you'd be already in panic. But they are like, we're gonna sort it out.
Exactly.
We will make it work, which is amazing. Also, it's like a kind of a different mindset.
Yeah, it's really good that they have that mindset. The only problem is sometimes, of course, you leave it to solve it for itself, and
yeah,
that
sometimes,
not always happens.
Yeah, sometimes can be a bit more challenging.
Exactly.
But to wrap it up, okay, that's it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We've done so just to help you out, to give you some pointers, some inspiration how to move forward and take advantage of this crisis, no?
Exactly. Take advantage of a good crisis, because it's when you transform and when you give steps towards your better destiny.
Exactly. So give it a thumbs up if you like this kind of video. Spread out the word so that we can help more people. Okay, help us out to help us others as well, and subscribe. Okay, take care. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.